Well, it's November 11th. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. Aaron and I are back here at the Marsh unit today. It's probably been about a week since we were in here last, and when we came back through driving here, we didn't see any cars parked yet again. So we came way back in here today. We're probably a mile and a half back in here, and we're right up along a creek channel through here. The wind is blowing from the northeast right over this creek channel. And in front of us, we've got this huge oak marsh, a bunch of young oaks in there. And on the outskirts of that, there is this mowed path. And on the way in, we saw a bunch of rubs and scrapes on it, which tells us that there's not much pressure back here. The deer are working up and down this road pretty consistently. And then on the way in, we got right about to where we decided to put the stand up. And we jumped a pretty nice buck, another young buck and a doe. And we're pretty sure that that doe was in heat because that buck came circling back around to try to find that doe. And unfortunately, he kind of caught us off guard and was already in range. He looked to be a buck that we'd probably shoot back here. He looked to be at least a 4-year-old buck. He didn't really get too spooked. I think he got our wind, but he's probably going to keep looking around in this area for that hot doe. But got a good chance to see something cruising through here this afternoon. If anything parallels the river, it's going to come right past us. And anything that's circling downwind, this pin oak marsh is going to be right in our laps. So, got a decoy. It's just a silhouette decoy that we can carry pretty easily back here on public. Got it set up in this little bundle of trees down here. And if anything sees that, it should work in perfect for a shot. Got this road's about 20 yards from us, so hopefully something presents a shot down that road.
Yeah, he's looking at the decoy.
Well, we're just wrapping up here. It's about the end of legal shooting time, and we saw a 2-year-old buck about an hour before dark, maybe even a little over. He came in and he looked at the decoy, disappeared for a little bit, and then we grunted, and he came running in, came right up to the decoy, came right in about 15 yards, and then probably 20 minutes ago, we heard a deer blow in front of us, and I got the glasses on him, and it was that buck that we saw earlier. He'd come back for the second time trying to find that doe. And what we suspect happened was he came back and was looking for his doe. And he, obviously we bumped him earlier. And he couldn't smell anything, couldn't see anything because he was upwind. And where he came from, there's no way he saw us. There's just a ton of leaves on these pin oaks in front of us. And I think he just got nervous and blew a few times and tried to figure out if we were still in this area. Couldn't find his doe. It was frustrating him, and he was just pretty nervous about the whole situation. So kind of ran around. We tried giving him a few grunts, and he didn't want anything to do with it. So he ended up just cruising up through these pin oaks. We think he's pretty lightly bumped, so we're probably going to try to come back in here tomorrow because that's a deer that I would shoot. If we can figure out a spot to get in here, we think there's probably more than just him for mature bucks in here, but like I said, we think he's lightly spooked. We know there's a hot doe in here, so tomorrow we have a little bit different wind, so we'll probably come back to the same general area, but just a little bit